This conference will now be recorded.
Right, let's start today's session. In the last session, we were discuss about file handling, how to create files, and how to work with different types of modes like W mode for write, R mode for read, W plus means write and read, A plus means append and read, R plus means read and write. Like this, we have discussed many modes of the file. And files are generally used to store the data permanently in our computer location. And whenever it is required to retrieve the data, we can retrieve the data from files also. So that is the file purpose. And yesterday's session, in the last session, we discussed how to create a file, how to work with writing the data into file. Write method and write lines methods are there. Okay. Now, but in today's session, how to retrieve the data from files are. I'll show you how to retrieve the data from file. So how to read the data from file. Read the data from file. And before that, what I want to do, we discuss the file creation with W mode, that is write mode. Look at this. This is W mode only. In this W mode, we are using write lines method. Especially when we use write lines method, this method can write list of lines into file. All the list values will be written to the file. This is write lines method. Next, we have seen this method also like in the previous program. So A mode is there. A mode. A mode means append mode. Append means this data is keep on adding to the file. How many number of times we are executing this program. In the write mode, data will be override, but in the append mode, data will be not override. It will be add that new data to the file only completely. Okay. Yes. Even we have seen write method also here. Write method with W mode. W mode write method means only one by one line or string data if you can write into the file, that is write mode. So we have seen W mode and A mode both for writing operation. But what about X mode? As I said that exclusive creation mode, that is X mode in the sense exclusive creation mode for file write operation. Exclusive creation mode. In exclusive creation mode, so when we provide a file name, if file name already exists or available, that will return some exception or error. But if that file already exists, so that's what file exist error you will get in the exclusive creation mode. So that's where we need not to uh, create a, we need not to use already existing file for exclusive creation mode, sir. Let's see the quick example how we can work with exclusive creation mode with file writing only. So how to handle that error. So I'm creating new file that is called file 5. As I said that while working with file handling, every time you just better to create a new file, that will be good. So file 5.py is there, and I'm creating file object f equals to open name, because look at this, already text files are there like abc is there. Wantedly I'm giving abc.txt file here, comma file mode I'm taking what actually X mode I'm taking, not W mode. So you know that W mode will create a new file if the file is not available, and even append mode also will create a new file if the file is not available. But X mode will create a file instantly, that is new file only we have to provide. In this X mode, if we try to provide already available file abc.txt with us, you will get file exist error. Okay. So in the creation of file of X mode, file name already should not be there, sir. Okay, it should be newly created. So I'm just writing again to write the data into file. So I can say here, welcome slash n, just an example, hello slash n like this. And I'm printing data return to the file, data return to the files are. And I can recommend to close the file after completion of storing the data into file f dot close only. But you will get exception in this case, sir. Okay, why? Because we are using exclusive creation mode, but we are providing already available code, that's already available file. You will get file exist error immediately. So look at this, there is an exception. File exist error. File is exist already with the name called abc.txt. If already existed file is there, then it's not possible to handle, because we are using exclusive creation mode, X mode only. The moment when we use exclusive creation mode like X mode, so what is the already available file is there, it will not create. So in this mode especially, we need to create a separate file, new file instantly. But how to handle this exception, you know that in the last examples we just completed exception handling mechanism only. Exception means runtime error. Okay, all of a sudden, due to some invalid style of code, automatically system will raise an exception. So this is totally risky code, I can feel it. So risky code always I should include into inside what block? Try block. I'm keeping that risky code into try block, and except block I'm using. In this except block, what message I'm giving according to exception? File exists error is the exception class as message, and we are printing that what actually message only. Try block, except block, file exists error as message, print a message only. Okay, let's run this. So now we can see we are handling this exception, that exception also message giving clearly here. So this is, yeah, next what I'm trying xyj.txt. So we are creating file with exclusive creation mode, and compulsory we need to create a new file only which is not already available xyz.txt. Now this time it will work, sir. So data return to the file. In exclusive creation mode, file should create instantly. A new created file should be there. Then only it's possible. I have created new file and data is also written to the file. What is the file name? xyz.txt. Where it is there, you just check this. Here it is data written to the file. So this is file creation in exclusive creation mode only, like X mode only here. Okay. Next. So far we discussed how to create a file and how to store the data into file. But now how to retrieve the data from file, because files concept is for reading and writing. Writing means we can store the data. Reading means we can retrieve the data. So how to read the data from file? So you know that to read the data from file compulsory, data should be there, sir. Sorry, file should be there, sir. File, whatever we provide the file, that file should be there in the location. Then only it's possible to read the data. Otherwise, no. Got my point? So to read the data from file, file name already should be there, sir. If there is no file name, whatever we provided, obviously you will get one more exception, that is file not found error exception only. User is trying to retrieve the data from particular file. So he has provided some file. Unfortunately, that file is not available in the location. Then obviously you will get file not found error exception. So that's what here we have to handle that also. For reading the data from file, file name is mandatory. Okay, yes. Now there are few methods are there to read the data from file. These are the methods I'll explain. Read method is there. This read method is used to read complete data from file. Complete data from file. To read complete data from file, we use this read method. To read complete data from file, we use read method. Next, read of n means to read n number of characters. N number of characters from file, we use this read of n mechanism. Next method, read line to read first line of the file. It will read only first line of the file only. This is to read first line of the file by default. Then we use what actually read line method. Next, read lines is there. Read lines method to read list of lines. Sorry, to read all lines into a list. In that context, we can use read lines method, sir. To read all lines into a list, in this context, we can use read lines method. Okay. So read method means to read complete data from file. Read of n means to read n number of characters from file. Here, how many number of characters you want, you can read it. So three characters means three characters only will read. Five means five valid characters only will be read. This is read of n. So now coming to the read line. Read line means to read first line of the file. Read lines means to read all lines into list format. To read all lines into list format. This is read lines only. Okay, let's see this how to work with one by one. So compulsory in the reading process, you should have the file, otherwise you will get file not found error exceptions are. Let's create a new program now, file 6 for reading the data from file 6, and f equals to open method. You can see this file name I'm giving mohan.txt. Do I have this mohan.txt file name? No. Mode is read mode. I'm using R mode, but actually this file is not available. Okay, let's see this first. F dot read method I'm using. Read method means what? To read complete uh, all the data from file we are reading, but after reading we are not printing directly. I'm going to store the data into this object only, and it will read the data from this file. The data will store into here. We need to print this data to the user. After completion of print, just close the file simply by close method. But this program will give error. What error? File not found error, or file does not exist only. Yes, that is not. File not found error exception will get. So in the read mode, always file name is required, sir. Look at this. There is no such file or directory with the name called mohan.txt. File not found error exception is we got. So this is generally a risky code. Usually when we are working with files, there may be chance to get exceptions also. Then all the exceptions we can better to store into try block and except block. Now this time file not found error as message I'm giving, and this message I'm printing here. Fine. Try block, except block. Here when we don't have any file like mohan.txt, now you can see we got this no such file or directory like mohan.txt file is there. Okay, so try block, except block, file not found error as message, print message, f equals to open mohan.txt file is there, not there. So that's what we got error. We have handled also. Let's see this meaningful file I'm giving. So I have already files are with me, abc.txt. In this file, this data is there. This data I'm trying to read here. So by using what method? Read method. It will read the data from this ABC and stored into here, and we are printing this. After printing the data, closing the file. So what data we are reading? This is hello Hyderabad welcome, which is coming from ABC. What method we are using? Read method. Read method is what actually to read complete data from file. Total data it is going to be read, sir, actually. So read of n means what? To read n number of characters from file only. N number means only few numbers. So for example, 3 I'm taking, 3 numbers only I'm trying to read. So let's say this 3 numbers. HCL is there in this file, abc.txt. First 3 numbers only we got it here. So what about first I'm trying to take like 9 numbers I'm taking. 9 characters. 9 characters means hello, HYD like this. But look at this HYD Hyderabad a 9 only. But after hello there is a space. That space character also will be considered as one character. That is also count. So read of n means n number of characters we are reading. Only read means all the what we can say total file data we are going to read, and at the same time we are going to use read line means what actually? To read first line of the file only. To read first line of the file we use what? Read lines are here. Okay, yeah, just a moment. To read first line of the file we use read line, only first line. Read lines I'm using. In this context, all the lines will read from the file and stored into list object only. It will return the data into list only. Read lines method is used to read all lines into a list format. So let's see this all lines into list format. Hello, Hyderabad, welcome, which is coming from ABC text, all lines making into list format. So this is the reading process. This is our main purpose. Files are used to read the data from file and writing the data into file. Both are possible here with file handling mechanism. Okay. Yes. So this is reading and writing process. Let's see the next example here. So there is a with statement in file handling mechanism. What is with statement? How to work with statement? I'll explain clearly where we use exactly with statement. So file 7.py. I'm explaining with statements are here. With statement. So actually with is a keyword. With is a keyword. With statement here. In Python, with is a keyword. You can check in keyword list. There is a with keyword is there. Why with statement is required? The with statement can be used while opening a file. Okay. Statement can be used while opening a file. Why we should use with statement generally? We can use this with statement to group file operation statement within a block. Okay, to group all file operation statements within a block only. We can include all the file operation statements in a one block, then we can go for with block. So why we should keep all these file operation statements within a block, like with block? What is the advantages of with block? Means after completing all operations, file operations, generally after completing all file operations, all file operations, we have to close the file generally, after completion of all file operations, we have to close the file or not? Yes. After completing all file operations, we have to close the file. But when we use with the block, after completion of all file operations, automatically, 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 file gets closed. Okay. So automatically, file gets closed. File get closed. No need to close explicitly as a programmer, sir. So how many statements do you want to write? You can write it in the file, inside the file, and any number of statements we can write it. But all the time, every time, no need to open and close and open and close. Sometimes multiple operations we need to perform. In that context, every time we have to create a file and close it after completion of again open it and close it and open it, close it. Multiple times open close is there. But instead of that, what we are doing, so you write how many number of statements do you want, you can include in the with block. So with block advantage is what? It can be used to opening a file, and this with block can be used to group all file operation statements in a block. After completion of all operations, automatically file get closed. No need to close explicitly as a programmer. Whenever we do with block, no need to close explicitly. as a programmer. Okay. So how it is, for example, with statement is there, with block. Generally with block is there, with statement. Inside the with statement, we have write multiple file operation statements like statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 like this. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Okay, like this. We can go with this. With the block inside statement 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay, these are the block of code. So we need not to close the file explicitly inside this with block. Once we exit from the with block, automatically file gets closed, I'm saying. Let's see this practical implementation. This is my program here. Just for example, I'm telling with the block statement how to write. We'll see this. Okay. So with the block statement. So suppose first with code you have to write with code. With is a keyword, and in this with block is used to opening the file or creating the file. Now I'm creating what actually A B C D or any name. You can say durga.txt or something. Like let me give the name is sample.txt. Sample.txt I think already there. It's there now. Sample1.txt I'm giving. So this is my file, and I'm just writing the data into this file with W mode only. So I'm using W mode. With keyword is there, open method is there, file name is there, and mode is there, W mode. But where is the file object means as a file object should be last only now. The moment when we press enter, now you can see cursor is blinking within the with block only. Some indentation spaces are leaving, and it's blinking means from here onwards we can write as many as statements and no need to close the file explicitly. Let's see this. I'm writing the code data into file into Hyderabad like this. We are writing many multiple statements, but after completion of my statements, I'm not going to close the file here. Okay, I'm not going to close the file, sir. Just observe here. Not going to close the file. It will work fine. Okay, so no need to close the file like f dot close like this. Not required. F dot close. F dot close like this. But sir, how I can check whether this file is closed or not here? We are in the with block right now. Let me check whether file is closed or not. Okay. So let's see this. I'm checking is file closed. Who will check whether it is file is closed or not? You know that f dot closed property is there. Look at this line number 5 is belongs to still with block only, sir. We are in the with block only line number 5. Is file closed? F dot closed will return what, sir? No, it's not. False because file not closed. Why not closed? Still you are in the with block. So one thing is for sure, when we are working with block, no need to close the file explicitly. I'm not closing the file explicitly. But here you can see this out of the with block, I'm using print is file closed. Now this time you can see this file is closed really. Yes, exactly. Here we are out of the with block no. Once we are in out of the with block, is file closed? Yes, automatically once you exit from the with block, file gets closed. How long time you are in the with block, file is still open, it's not closed. The moment when we run this file 7.py, look at this, is file closed, line number 5 return false. Line number 6 is file closed, line number 6 return true only because we exit from the with block, automatically file closed. But note this point. Did I close the file here directly by using f dot close method? No, I didn't close the file, sir. Just look at this. I have not closed the file explicitly. Got my point? So did I close the file explicitly like f dot close? Did I use anywhere? No. Just this is I'm checking for closed or not. Closed is different, close is different. So this is the with syntax, sir. Let's see the next example. I am going to use this with syntax completely here. How it is. Now it's time to modify the file, sir. So if you want to modify the file, then we need to work with few functions again. So generally file modification in the file handling concept like text files especially, it's somewhat complex architecture. That's what generally we should give priority to the database handling only. So database handling means database is also one of the permanent storage area where we can store our data. But advantage of database storage is what? Database storage will support SQL statements. SQL statements means insert query, update query, delete query, we can easily pass in SQL through. That affected into database clearly. But whenever we use files, then there is no SQL support normally in the files. You need to take care everything manually to modify the data and to update the data. Everything we should do manually. So that is the somewhat complex architecture, file handling. But files also important sometimes. Whenever you want to store the data in your location, in your project location, then file handling is recommended. But in case if you want to store the data into database location for further usages or permanent usages, then we can go for database storage only, sir. Both are possible. Let's see this how we can work with file modification. Before file modification, there are two important methods are there. Okay, one is tell method, next one is seek method. These methods through only we can modify the file data here. Tell method as well as seek method. So tell method is used to return current position of the cursor, that is file pointer, from beginning of the file. Tell method is used to know cursor position. Cursor means file pointer, it is there. File pointer position, sir. What is the use of tell method? Tell method is used to know the cursor position, that is file pointer position, where it is there, in which index is there, like that. By default in file, cursor position is what, sir? 0 only. Cursor position is 0 location, 0 index only, cursor is blinking. Suppose look at this. This is my file data. File data is there. Just I'm taking. My name is Mohan, like this. But by default, cursor is blinking where, sir? Starting line. If I read two characters, cursor is come to third line, like this. If I read few more characters, like this. If you read characters by character, cursor is moving towards forward, like this. Right now, after reading my complete data, like my name is Mohan, after reading completely, cursor is located at what? Last only. Got my point? But cursor can be of anywhere. File pointer can be of anywhere in the file. But if you want to modify the file, so what we need to do first, we have to know where is the cursor exactly available. So how do you know that where the cursor is exactly available right now in your program? Tell method through we can find the current cursor position where exactly it is available. It will return where exactly cursor is available right now. Based on that, you can decide where do you want to move the cursor, you can decide. For that, we can use seek method. So tell method is used to know the cursor or file pointer current position. Okay, current position only. Currently where the cursor is available. But seek method is used to move. Seek method is used to move the cursor. Seek method is used to move the cursor or file pointer to a desired location. To a desired location. Desired location means in which location do you want to move the cursor? You can move them. Suppose here I am taking seek of 23 index. So that means cursor will go and store in 23 index only. You are saying that go and available into 23 index because user need to modify the data at 23 index only. So to modify the data into file, two mechanisms we have to apply, sir. One is tell method, which is used to tell the current cursor position. Next one is seek method, which is used to move the cursor position or file pointer to a desired location only clearly. So let's apply these two methods. How it will work, we'll see now. After that, we'll start with file modification clearly. I'm trying to say this file 8 I'm taking. And now look at this. I'm using f is my file object. Open is a method. Let me take abc.txt, which is available already file. R method, R mode I'm using, reading the data I'm using right now. Before reading the file, do you want to know where the cursor is available? Then what we can say, print f.tell we can use. I'm directly printing that the cursor position, because f.tell method will notice where is the cursor available before reading. This is, got my point? Before reading in the abc.txt file, cursor is available in where? Starting position only, no sir. Here only it is there before reading. So obviously we are getting f.tell method through cursor position is where sir? Zero index by default. In the read mode, cursor position is zero index one. So tell method is telling that cursor is present in what index? Zero index. Okay. Yes. Next, I want to read the data here. Print f dot read of three characters. I'm reading from the file. I'm reading three characters. Let's see this. Tell method is returning initially cursor is available in zeroth index. We are reading the data three characters here, but after reading the data, do you want to know where is the cursor is available? Then you can say that print f dot tell only. Where is the cursor, sir? Third index, because we have read three characters. No, cursor is moving towards like that. So right now initially cursor was like this. Okay, 1 2 3. So three characters are read at index 3. Cursor is available right now like that only. So after reading three characters, cursor position is right now this position only 3. And even more characters read after that again. F dot read of 5 more characters I'm reading. After 5 more characters are reading, then again cursor position is what actually 9 only here. 5 characters are reading. Hello after LO is there. There is one more space character, including space HY is there. Total 5 characters. Then after 5 characters, it's reading now. It is cursor is providing what actually in ninth index only it's available, including space actually. Okay. This is tell method is telling us where exactly cursor is available, sir. But can we move the cursor into desired location? Yes, as per your requirement. Do you want to move the cursor? Then we can move the cursor to the particular location by using seek method. Let's move the cursor here. F dot seek of, for example, I'm giving 12th index. I'm moving cursor. Whether it is moved into 12th index or not, how do I know that? Simply, again, you just print f dot tell method. So it will know that clearly whether it is moved or not. Yes, exactly, it's moved. Your cursor or file pointer is moved into 12th index position. So that's what here f dot seek of 12 I'm using. Okay, so this is the case. So f dot seek of 12th index, print f dot tell means 12. It will tell that what index it's available, 12th index only. So these two methods are useful for modification of the file only, sir. So to modify the file, first you should know the current cursor position where it is there. After that, you have to move the cursor to a desired location. Where do you want to move the cursor? You can move that by using seek method. Let's apply these two methods through. We will do that file modification program now. Okay, let's start. In this case, many we need to open and close. That's what I don't need to require to open and close many times file. So to avoid that, what I can do it simply I can go for with block only. With block means simple with block statements through I can able to manage the code. Okay, yes. So let's see here. New file I'm taking. File 8 I'm taking. File 8 is already there. File 9 I'm taking. File 9. Now let's begin how to modify the data into files. Okay. Suppose I'm having a data right now. Suppose here my data is this one only. Data equals to my name is Durga. I'm giving like this is my data. First line by line I'll explain. Try to understand, sir. I have a data like my name is Durga. Fine. So I'm just opening the file. F equals to open. File name I'm taking triple R dot txt. You can take any name, file name. I'm using what actually W mode. Writing means I want to write this data like my name is Durga into triple R dot txt file. That's what I'm opening that file. To write the data, what is required means the f dot write of data only. Now this data I am writing to this triple R dot txt file with what mode? W mode. Fine. We have written. Next, what I'm trying to do with the block I'm taking with code. It is a keyword. Open is a method. What file you are opening? Triple R dot txt. For what purpose we are opening? R plus. Look at this. I'm using a new mode of the file. R plus means what? Read and write. First we can read the data and then write the data also is possible. With is a keyword, open is a method, triple R dot txt, comma R plus means read and write only, as F is a file object. Why we are writing with block statements? As I said that to write, if you write with block statements, then no need to close the file explicitly every time, and there are many times we can open and close, but no need to close the file one time. So directly we can write any number of statements inside the with block. With is a keyword, open is a method, triple R dot txt is a file name, R plus is nothing but mode. We can read and write, as is a keyword again, F is a file object finally. Here first, before going to reading, I want to say current cursor position where it is there. Obviously 0. Current cursor position. Current cursor position is what, sir? Where it is there? 0 only. Who will tell you current cursor position? F dot tell method. Tell method through we can come to know that current cursor position. Fine. Yes. So let's execute this up to here. Okay. So what will happen? We'll see this. I'll show you step by step. The moment when I execute this file is created automatically, that is triple-r.txt. In this triple-r.txt, now you can see data is there or not. You can check it. Data is there. My name is Durga. And the current cursor position is what actually 0 only. Right now, by default, in the read mode or read plus mode, cursor position is 0 only because we have not readed any data. We have written data only, storing the data only. Let's start reading now. To read the data, just I'm taking text equals to f dot read, and we are reading complete data. That data only I'm printing text. And after reading complete data also, do you want to know that current cursor position? Obviously it is end of the file only, because once the moment when we read the data, it's move on line by line, character by character, it's moving towards forward. So cursor position, current cursor position. Again, I'm applying f dot what? Tell method. Let's run this again after reading the data from file. So from triple-r.txt file we are reading, we are printing. After printing, we know that current cursor position is what? 16th index, because here right now 0 index 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 is there. It's available on here only right now because after reading. But sir, my requirement is in place of Durga, I want to modify the data here. So that's what I want to bring the cursor at 11th index only. So how to bring the cursor at 11th index means, who will bring the cursor at 11th index? Seek method. F dot seek of 11. But whether it is bringing that cursor into 11th index or not, how do I know? Means simple. Again, you will come to know that current cursor position f dot tell method, you will come to know that whether it is bring that cursor into 11th index or not. Yes, 11th index we are in. Once you got confirmation cursor is present at 11th index, then from 11th index onwards we can update the data. What we will write means, in place of Durga, I'm giving what we can say, any name I'm giving. Okay, so just I'm giving okay, let's give the name Mohan. I'm updating. Okay, Mohan update. After Mohan update, again cursor where it is there, sir? Last only. So that's what the moment After updating, sir, I want to read the updated data, not old data, whether it is updated or not. How I can means you can read it like this, but you will not get updated result. Why? I will tell you. Text dot read, then print what actually text. Okay, I'm printing just confirmation data after modification, data after modification, text only. Why data after modification we will not get here? Reason is we have updated. Right now current cursor position is 11. 11th index we will update Mohan. After updating also, cursor is moving towards forward. Cursor is available at last index only. From last index, what data you will read? Nothing. Look at this. There is no data after modification because cursor is present at last index. Do you want to read the cursor from the starting index onwards again? Then before reading, what we need to do? Okay, you have to bring that cursor into zeroth index. After zeroth index, we can able to get the data from zeroth index. My name is Mohan. This is the way to work with modification. Current cursor position initially 0. After that, I have read this data. Once I have read this data, cursor position is at last index only. But I want to bring the cursor position. I'm just checking cursor position right now. Last index only 16th index. I want to bring the cursor at 11th index. So I got it. And from 11th index onwards, I am writing the data. What data? Mohan. And Mohan updation is done. After updation also, obviously cursor is moving towards forward only. That is last index only. Again, I should bring that cursor back to the zero index only. After zero index only, I can able to read from the beginning character. So I'm reading this text equals def dot read. Data after modification is modified data is coming like this. In place of Durga, we are modifying this data. So this much we have to do for modification point of view in the text files. Because it's a complex architecture, there is no SQL support. So that's what we recommend in real-time database only better option. Database means easily we can modify. No, there is a query-based things are there. SQL queries we can pass it easily. We can able to manage that SQL queries. So that database modification is possible. That is SQL statement. But here there is no SQL statement. But note this point: how many lines I have written inside the with block? All are under the with block statements only. But did I close anywhere in the middle? No need to close. No need to close the file because that is the advantage of with block. Okay, so once we exit from the with block, automatically file gets closed. You need not to close the file, sir. That is the advantage. How many number of file operation statements do you want to write inside the with block through? You can write it, and the advantage of with block is no need to close the file explicitly. Automatically it will close the file when we exit from the with block automatically, sir. So this is file modification and how to work with this file modification. This is somewhat little bit complex operation only, but compulsory. Now, we created so many files in my project like abc.txt, abcd.txt, okay, and also xyz.txt and txt. Many files I created. But sir, how do I check whether the file is present in the location or not? Okay, so how to check whether file is exist or not, sir? It's very simple mechanism. Sometimes we need to accept file name from the user. User will enter the file name. That file is available or not, I have to show them. So how to check a particular file exists or not? How to check a particular file exists or not? So to check whether file is exist or not, in Python, we can use OS module. What module? OS module. OS module means operating module is there. This module get the information about files in our computer. OS module is having a submodule called path submodule. OS module is having a submodule called what? Path. Path is a submodule of OS module. This path submodule is contain a file function called isFile function is there. IsFile function. This function is used to check whether a particular file is exist or not. So ultimately what actually excuse me, os dot path submodule dot is file function. We have to check here in this is file function. We have to pass the file name. What file name do you want to check? If file name is there, it will print that file name, and if you want content also, you can print it. If file is not there, simply file does not exist, like that. So how to check a particular file is exist or not in your computer means OS module is required for this. OS module contains a submodule that is called path submodule. Path submodule is having a function called isFile function. Using this os dot path dot isFile function, file name we have to provide at runtime from the user end. That file name is available or not, it will check, sir. Okay, simple. Let's see the example. We have so many files are there like abc, abcd, sample.txt, xyz.txt, triple.txt. One of the file name I can enter at runtime. Whether that file is available or not, it will say that clearly. File 10. Now first import OS is required. We need to accept the file name, sir. So I'm taking f underscore name. It is my file object name. File name will store into here. Okay. This f underscore name, or else directly you can take f name also, no problem. But that is not meaningful name. Okay. If you have any two words of the variable, better to use underscore. No, this is Python enhancement proposal standard naming convention. So I'm asking input value from the file, enter file name to check. Enter file name to check. So user will enter the any file name for checking whether it is there or not. That file name will stored into f underscore name variable. So I have to check that if operating system module path submodule is file function is there, this file name I have to supply to this is file function. This function, this condition true means I can say file is exist. I can say what file is exist also I have to say that. That's what f name also I am giving. So and so file is exist. In case operating system module using path submodule using function this file is not exist, then it will go to where else block. In this print function I am using file does not exist, like this. File does not exist, like this. Okay, what file does not exist also we have to say that. So file does not exist, if else. Okay, yes, this is very simple program, straightforward. We are accepting some file name at runtime. That file is available or not. This condition is true means file is available, otherwise not. Simple. Let's run this. I'm giving right different file mohan.txt. Do you have any mohan.txt? No, file does not exist. Again, when we run this, I have to run triple.txt. Yes, we have triple.txt. File exists, triple.txt. Okay. In case if file is exist, do you want to read the content of the file means what we can do? My requirement is file is if file is exists, then I want to read the content of the file also along with file name. If file does not exist, I can say file does not exist. Then again I am trying to open the file here in the if block. What name I should open? F name only. F name means user will enter this name. This name only will be open here. In which mode you want to open? Read mode. Now you can see content of the file I am printing here. Content of the file. So I can print f dot read method. So this is what actually content of the file. Or else directly you can print f dot read or text equals to f dot read and print a text also we can do it. So if file is exist, then that file name through I am opening into read mode. I am reading the content of the file if file is exist only, sir. If file does not exist, normally we can say file does not exist. For example, durga.txt is there. Do you have any durga.txt? No. File does not exist is said. If I try to say like abcd.txt, yes, we have abcd.txt file with us. So that's what content also is coming. Content is Sai Mohan Durga, like this. And rerun this. If we have triple.txt here, triple r.txt, content is this is actually here. And again, if I go for xyz.txt, content is this one only. Content also is coming. If file name is wrong, sample2.txt, this file is not available. Obviously, file does not exist only. So this is the way to check whether file is exist or not. If exist, how to read the content of the file we have clearly. And at the same time, same example, we have to extend it. How to extend? I should enter the file name, and again I need to check whether file is exist or not. If file is exist, I want to find how many number of lines, how many number of words, how many number of characters present in the file. If file is not available, simply I can say file does not exist only. That is not a matter. So this extension we have to do, sir. Okay. Even file name is already there, and I want to check in that file how many number of files and number of words, number of characters. I have to check that. Yeah, I will tell you, sir. Okay, relative path, absolute path also I will discuss. Don't worry. Please give me some time. Mostly in the next session, I'll cover that also. So it will find anything because OS module is there. No? It will find entire the computer location where it is exactly available. It will find, sir. So that's all for now. Tomorrow we'll continue from here onwards.
Sir, I have some question. I will take your 5 minutes. If you have 5 minutes, then
Tell me.
what is the difference between exception and base exception?
Base exception means base class exception. That is super class exception. No,
Okay, but exception is also the superclass, right?
exception is still super class. But if you have a lot of child classes are there, that you can use it our own exceptions.
Okay, means if we talk about the hierarchy, the very first class will become that is the object, right? Then after base exception and then after exception will come, right?
Obviously,
Okay, and see, then I can also use the base exception when we are customize our own exception, right? Means instead of the exception, we can use base exception and program will work normally, right?
it will work. If you have super class or base exception means it can handle every exception internally, no problem.
Yeah,
In
and
case,
one
in
more.
case, in case, according to your own requirement is there, you want to create your own exception, then we can go for customized exceptions.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why. See, in customized exception, I can also use the runtime exception instead of the exception. I can simply inherit the runtime exception, right? And it will work.
Yes, obviously, you because you can't create the class as your own exception. No, that should be inherited
Right,
from
right.
super class. Then only it will become exception class.
And see, means my question is means when we are customize any exception, then instead of the inheriting the exception class, we can inherit the runtime exception, and our program will still work, right?
Hmm.
Are you getting it? Then what is the difference? Means why we will use that runtime exception instead of the exception? This is my question.
Tell me instead of see the exception is nothing but runtime error only. To handle the
Right, right,
runtime error, we will use exception only.
right.
See if you see
And
what is your question? I am not getting actually. You
see,
if you
my
want to
question.
create your
Post I'm posting one program which is done by me.
hmm,
Say instead of inheriting exception, I'm inheriting runtime error. Yeah, this is runtime error, and when
hmm.
my program is still working, then what is the difference? Means why should I use runtime error and where I should use that exception class? Is what is the difference between these two? See,
Let
I
me
have
check.
tested that.
Let me oh, we have to edit all these things. both are same. It's not
Yeah,
a what we can say. It's not a big difference because we are used on one of the child class exception, not parent class exception. That is only difference. Let's see this. There is exception classes. To young exception is not there. Let me add it. So now you can see this is I'm giving exception. It's coming in IntelliSense. Runtime error. It is coming in IntelliSense. This is subclass exception. Actually, it is not
yeah, yeah,
what we can say super class. It will work, not a problem. We are using subclass. Subclass can have one more exception. No? In multi-level inheritance, what is a class can inherit it from some other exception because you are
right,
specifically saying that clear what we can say. I'm using only runtime error during that exceptions occurred at runtime. That only I can able to handle this by using this child class exception. But in case any other exception is there, that cannot handle this one.
right. And
So that's why
yeah, is there any advantage of the runtime exception on exception? I think it's advantage for that searching time, right? It will execute
Again,
faster.
yes, yes, execute faster. We are pointing directly runtime error. If you use
Right.
exception, then again it has to go to exception class. Inside exception class, runtime error, it will check again.
Right, right, right. Yeah, thank you. Got it.